And this is your motion, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So your request is for some post-majority support because the child has turned 18 and is still in high school, is that correct?
Yes, sir, kinda. I had to call the court the other day. I had requested that my daughter, Whitney Davis, and my ex-son-in-law, Jordan Michael Groves, I believe this is a case that involves both of them, that as long as Hayden was residing in my house and was a full-time student, that child support continue just through that time. Issued those documents to the court about his intent and his grades for graduating. But I called the other day and spoke to someone because Hayden, as of March 6th, resides now in a different state. He did leave my home approximately 9 p.m. on Tuesday, February 24th. So all I was asking for was support for the month of January and February that he was here, but he no longer lives. He turned 18 on January 18th.
All right, when did he leave your residence?
The last night I saw him was February 24th at approximately 9 p.m. And my understanding was that on March the 6th, he left the state of Michigan and resides in South Carolina now. And he turned 18 on January 18th.
Okay, so support would have ran through the end of January because that's when he turned 18, is that correct? From the court?
Yeah, no, I didn't. If my understanding is I did not receive any child support for the month of January because the order that's been in place by the court basically ended the end of December. And I received a letter from the friend of the court saying, if you want support to continue, you'll need to fill out paperwork, which I did. At the time when I filled out the paperwork, I did not know that in the very end of February, beginning of March, that Hayden would be leaving. So that's when I called last week and spoke with, I think her name was Miss Leanne over at the courthouse. So that's what I was asking for, was only for January and February because he did resign.
The standard is that the standard language in a support order is that it runs through the end of the month that the child turned 18. So
yes,
it's out there to collect for January, whether they paid or not, I don't know, but
yeah,
it is, the obligation runs through the end of January.
yes, sir. I don't know that for 100% sure. Only thing I can tell you is what I've been told, whether it be through the friend of the court or a defendant in the party, that they were informed that they did not owe anything for January. And of course, that's when I petitioned the court.
Okay.
And I believe the friend of the court's records would show that I did not receive anything for January or February. In the particular case of Mr. Groves, there's some back child support that's due, but I know that the court's probably going to handle that.
Correct. And then again, through our procedure, January is a month that will collect.
Yes, sir. And my understanding, due to the friend of the court's records that I can access online and the conversations that I've had via telephone, there was no support that was given to me for the month of January or February.
All right, so the issue for me to address is whether or not there is some other post-majority support. Again, post-majority support is based on a child residing full-time,
Yes, sir.
regularly attending high school, having an expectation of graduating from high school.
Yes, sir. And I did provide that school document to the court. I have a copy of it as well. His expected graduation date, I believe, was May 24th, but the friend of the court, I hand delivered that to the court, and I have a copy of it. But he does not, right, he does not reside with me anymore. Like I said, last time I physically laid eyes on him was approximately 9 p.m. on February the 24th. It was my understanding he was going to be gone for approximately 3 days to a week and then returning home. But he made the decision. And then it's also my understanding that on March the 6th, he left the state of Michigan.
Okay. All right, well, I mean, I understand obviously that he was in your care for most of February, but the court has to look at, is the individual attending high school full-time, living with a person full-time, having a reasonable expectation of graduating from high school? And those
Yes,
things might have existed for part of February, but they did not exist for the entire month.
yes, sir, all but 4 days.
So for those reasons, I am not going to grant the post-majority support. You do have support through January,
Yes, sir.
but I am going to deny the motion to extend that support through February. You do have the right to file an objection to my decision.
Yes, sir.
You have 21 days to do that. That information will be provided in the paperwork sent from the court. And then, so this is the same issue on the next file. Is that correct, front of the court?
It would be yes to continue support.
All right, so I'll call the other matter, which is Lawanda Haythayer versus Whitney Davis. And then for the reasons discussed in the Jordan Groves case, the court would deny the motion to extend the support through February. Any questions, Ms. Haythayer?
No, sir, I understand.
Thank you for appearing. You're all set today.
Okay. Do I need to say for the Davis case?
Nope, we're all set. I put that one on the record
May-
too. This is the same decision, okay?
Am I allowed to ask a question in regards to my
Oh.
case, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
I have the check. I did pay January to the state of Michigan, and January support, and I was issued a refund check for my because the post majority was not written into our original order in 2016. And that's kind of where I was a little confused, like just kind of how we got here to begin with, because I just didn't realize. I did receive the letter that my mom had the option until December 14th to, like, I guess extend it, but just for January, I did pay January, and I have the check in the order or in the letter from Ms. Shasta as well, my case manager, of them returning January support to me and only withholding the $21 that they said that I owed for the month of January. Now, I will tell you, I did cash this check and all these things, but I did call and speak with them before I did this because I didn't want it to be a mistake. And I kind of wanted to cover my bases. And they said, we took everything that you owed us for the month of January. This is yours to keep. And if something continues, then so be it. But they told me I was squared away for January.
All right, well, I guess I'm confused because my understanding in court order says the month of January would be collected.
Your Honor, it
Yes.
was based on conversation with both of them. I can't speak on the Groves file because I didn't look at that one. But Ms. Davis is correct. Her support obligation was met in full in January. And then a portion of it was issued back to her. So her case specifically is there's no balance, and it did charge through the end of January. It was just paid prior to the end of the month.
Okay. All right, anything else, Ms. Davis?
Am I basically done with my child support case with the state of
So it sounds
Michigan
like
at
yes,
this
ma'am.
moment?
Yes.
Okay, yes, sir. Then I do not have any more questions. Thank you
All right.
for helping.
Thank you. Thank you. You're all set. You both can sign off.
Thank you.